Do you think we would become a better society if people learned to be more sensitive or more thick-skinned?
Definitely more thick-skinned. I feel like now people are more sensitive. You can't say how you feel anymore. You can't have your own opinion. Everybody wants to. You have to agree with me. We have to be equal, and it's not the way. Like, bro, we're different. Everybody. First of all, this is America.
So by your logic, ma'am, if you think that people need to have thicker skin, then by that logic alone, you agree with shaming. Because if shaming is a way to get people to see their own potential so they can improve, well, then you're telling them that they don't need to be sensitive about the information that they're told. So if you're telling them that they need to stop being sensitive, that statement right there is a form of shaming people that can't take criticism. See what I'm saying? So like, even with this, earlier you said you were against shaming, but now it seems like with this statement right here, you're in favor of it because you're telling people, oh, well, you need to suck it up, and you need to have thicker skin and just take the criticism and do the change and keep it moving. That's what it sounds like you're saying. So within the same interview, you say one thing, but now you're flipping it and saying the opposite. Good job, It's Complicated. You got her with that one.
This is a place full of different looking people from all over the world. That's just what it's all about. That's one. So then we should also understand that with all this difference going on, that we all have different opinions, and we need to have the strength to be like, all right, I hear you. Let's agree to disagree.
I think we need to be more sensitive, but not in a way that things irk and bug us, more so in a way that we're aware and we aren't judgmental. We're more open to things. Maybe we don't need to push things in schools or whatever, but people need to see the world and be receptive of it. Otherwise,
that means you agree with shaming, sir.
And negative upbringings, and it's just going to go right back down to hating each other, which shouldn't happen.
Would you say the majority of women are followers or leaders by nature?
Leaders by nature.
Yeah.
I think women like to follow. I think women like to be put in their feminine energy. I think they don't like to have to make difficult decisions. They like to
See, you know what's interesting? Is that when he asked the black girls, are women followers or leaders by nature, they instantly said leaders. But the white girl was like, nah, they're more followers because they like to be more feminine. Now, those first two black girls, I could already tell, dominant, masculine, they want to be in charge. But her, she understands the true dynamic of it. Just thought I'd point that out.
I do think they like to follow.
If women are followers by nature, why are so many of them unwilling to submit to a man's leadership?
I think it takes the right man to make her feel comfortable. I don't think that it's that women aren't necessarily open to that idea. I think it all has to be the right man. It has to be the right person that makes her feel comfortable enough to be able to do something like that.
If women are leaders by nature, why don't they like taking accountability?
Oh, got him. Flip the logic back on him. Flip the logic back on him.
Why would women who used to be protected and provided for choose to work and pay taxes instead?
I have no idea. I'm not one of those women. I would love to sit pretty and have a man work while I cater to his needs emotionally. I'm not sure. People like to be independent. I understand that, but as far as where this dynamic came from, I think it all came back to when women were eventually allowed the right to work. Can't say I'm in full support because I kind of miss the days where we didn't have to, but
you weren't even around.
Why would women prefer to be equal rather than be placed on a pedestal?
That's a good question.
Oh.
I think when you're speaking in terms of human rights, we all want equal human rights. I think that's natural. But most women, I would argue most women absolutely do want to be put on the pedestal by the man that they love, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Yeah, this going to be interesting, man. Based on the title alone, I got to see what this one going to be about.
Women often talk about hormones influencing their emotions and behavior.
Uh-oh.
Why are there some women who shame men for being horny when testosterone is a male hormone?
Because men are always horny. Come on.
I definitely run on hormones myself, so I don't shame men.
Okay. Not even 30 seconds into the video, and we already have a septum piercing, guys, what do I always say about the septum piercings? Red flag, something wrong with them. But I give her a little bit of grace because she is a little cute, so.
Damn, you're fine as hell.
But we're gonna see what she has to say.
So I can't answer this question. Shame is a strong word, and shame sometimes can be warranted if men are being inappropriate. I think that a lot of times men use having more testosterone as a scapegoat to acting inappropriately. But I think, biology plays a big role, and that is something to be said of why a lot of things are just.
You know what's funny? Is that I've never heard a man justify inappropriate behavior by saying, man, hey, it's not my fault. I just got testosterone, bro. I've never heard a man say that, so I don't know where she got that from.
Stop the cap.
Different between men and women, but it's never an excuse to act bad.
Females, when they get horny, they seek attention, they seek to feel something, they seek something out of somebody.
Okay.
Especially with females in my generation, I feel like that's the main go-to they have. Now for guys, I'm gonna just keep it honest, we just want to get our stuff out. We want to let our stuff out. We don't care to put our heart into nobody else.
Why is a woman any more entitled to being protected and provided for than a man is entitled to sex and intimacy?
Because people don't view it as an equal exchange. It's not like the same thing.
Because there's a difference between something that's you require to survive and just wanting to get laid.
If women expect men to pay for sex, why don't men expect women to pay for bodyguards?
Men are not expected to pay for sex.
I think because sex is a lot more of a physical thing, that's actually giving away your body versus time.
So, if a woman having sex with a man is her giving her body away, then what is it considered if a man is a bodyguard to protect her? That's him essentially giving his body away in the event of danger. So then which one has a greater consequence and a greater deal of value and responsibility when you compare those two scenarios?
I mean, if a man's supposed to protect a woman, isn't that him giving his body away and subjecting himself to harm?
Literally just said that.
Possibly, but how often is a man really subjected to actually putting themselves in harm, whether
every day.
Sex could be a daily thing. It's not like a man's constantly putting himself in harm's way.
What?
If women expect men to pay for sex, why don't men expect women to pay for bodyguards?
Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. I feel like because a lot of women think that men are already strong and they're already masculine, so they should already have that masculine figure, so they don't need protection, they don't need nothing but just to be in a man.
Don't women essentially just want a bodyguard who pays for everything?
Yeah, definitely.
Don't women essentially just want a bodyguard who pays for everything?
A lot of women think like that, but they want a little bit more too.
I believe that, I try to have intimacy and all those things for men because I do believe they need those things. I think a lot of women don't do those things for men, but me personally, I try to add that because I know how I feel without the intimacy and all that good stuff, with just having sex.
Why don't women shame women for using sex toys the same way men shame men for watching porn?
I think that women are just a little more understanding of, we do have wants, desires, and we do like pleasure. And so if we're all doing it, why do we need to shame each other for it?
What is the definition of indecent exposure?
I literally looked that up before I came here. Okay, it is the exposure, and I think that it's defined differently in different areas. The exposure of the nipples on a woman, the genitalia, or the buttocks. It is in a public place where you might have contact with other people, or they might be able to see it. It also comes down to intent, and that's where it's the gray area. Did I intend to flash my breasts, or did my bra strap fall and it was an accidental exposure? So,
why is it not considered porn when women expose themselves out in public?
I feel like it could be. I think that porn is defined very widely, so it's subjective.
Because your body isn't porn. My body isn't sexual, just being,
If sex isn't conveyed through visual means, why is porn even effective?
I mean, of course, like me sucking a dick, that's a sex act. Like that is me using my body for something sexual so that viewers can watch something sexual happen. But your body in itself, like women just existing isn't pornography.
I feel sex is kind of conveyed through visual means. I mean,
so then when women walk around in public wearing what might be perceived as lingerie, how is a man's subconscious metabolism supposed to know when the sexual stimulation is real?
Oh, well, this is interesting. I feel like that comes down to desensitization and normalization. And there was a time when an ankle would make a dick hard. So, it comes down to exposure and what you see every day.
Are men leading when they approach women and subject themselves to rejection at a woman's discretion?
No.
So don't men have to submit to the rules defined by women?
Nope.
If he likes her a lot or if he loves her a lot, I guess, yeah.
Do you think two people can ever love each other equally, or is one going to love the other one more?
Ooh, this is a good question. I've heard that in relationships, one person always is a little bit more interested, so this is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that if the man is slightly more interested in the woman than she is in him, the relationship statistically is more likely to last. I don't know that this is 100% true, but
the cap.
That's a tough one. I kind of feel like it is.
If that's true, then why are so many guys out here getting rejected when they show themselves to be more interested in the girl than the girl is interested in him? See, it's funny because the guys that don't get the action are the ones that show the most interest, right? But on the flip side of that, when the woman shows more of the interest, she tends to get more of what she wants when she's the one that's showing more of the interest. So if the guy is chasing greatness and prioritizing his purpose and his mission, then he's not going to be interested in her and what she has going on. But see, women are attracted to the guys that are interested in chasing more and not putting them on a pedestal. So it's actually when the girl likes the guy more that she gets more of what she wants.
True. I don't want it to be, but I feel like it kind of is.
Is it true that whoever loves the other one less has the power?
Not necessarily.
Well, if women want to submit to a man's leadership, wouldn't that mean the woman needs to love the man more than he loves her?
Exactly.
I think it's about respect more so than love. I think that she has to respect her man in order for that relationship to last.
There you go.
It's never equal. Sometimes it's 50-50, 70-80. Sometimes somebody has more than the other.
But I feel like it should always be 100-100, but it's never that way.
If all men have the potential to be dangerous, why do so many women think they are the only ones who should be afraid of men? Aren't men likely to be victims of other men?
Yep, that's completely true. A man could be walking in the street, he can get robbed just as much as a woman could.
Are you aware that most victims of violent crime are men?
Yeah, that's true.
No,
that's true.
Are you aware that most victims of violent crime are men?
No.
Why do we blame the male gender for causing war and violent crime when men are the biggest victims of war and violent crime?
I believe men are the biggest victims of war and violent crime, but also a lot of men are taught to suppress their feelings down, so they're not bringing this up. And it's kind of hard to victimize someone or feel bad for someone when they don't even explain what they're going through.
I think we blame men because men are always the ones starting wars. They're always men are in power. They're the ones that go to war. They're the ones that fight the war. You look at history. Women didn't start the war. Women stayed home. They looked after their children, cared for their houses while their husbands were gone. So
when men are the biggest victims of war and violent crime?
Because in like my last statements, we see men as very strong characters, knights in shining armors. So we expect them to go through those turmoils. We expect them to go to those traumas, and we expect them to basically go through all the shit that we don't want to go through and come out on the other side. Oh, A-okay.
If being a masculine man means accepting the burden of others, why would anyone want to be a man by that definition?
I have no idea, honey. I definitely would not want to be a man. I'll tell you that much. But men are amazing creatures, and they are beautiful. They are meant to be loved. They are meant to be cherished. And if we're going to be honest, us as women, we are supposed to cater to our men because they take care of us. They do what they can for us. Now, if that ain't your man, then that's on you.
Right. Hey, ended that one with a banger.
When it comes to sex, why is our culture able to clearly define when it's over during climax, but can't seem to define when the sexual act begins? Wouldn't that solve the consent issue?
Ooh, girl. Okay. I think that society at large views sex as over when men reach climax. I think, personally, and this is my opinion, sex continues after that point for both me and my partner or partners. That is when we help each other clean up, when we cuddle after, when we talk about how great it was, or I love that thing that you did, or you know what, that was something that was a little too rough. Maybe we should try it differently next time. So sex begins. Sex is fluid. It starts when someone makes your coffee for you in the morning and you don't have sex until dinner that night. Like, it's a continuous thing.
See, it's interesting that she's saying this because one of the biggest differences between men and women when it comes to like our sexual arousal and stuff like that, it's like with us guys, it doesn't take much to just get us ready. But for women, it's more of they have to be stimulated up here first. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the flirting, the dirty talk, the nice touching, the cuddling, the whispers in the ear and stuff like that. It's all that stuff that she imagines in her head that kind of prepares her for that moment, and she's anticipating it. Whereas for us, we're ready to go at any given moment pretty much. But see, to get them in the mood, we have to, I guess, quote unquote, get the oven preheated, for lack of a better term. For them, they need to be preheated. So it's like their arousal is turned like a volume knob, and us, we're flipping it on and off like a light switch. So that's one of the biggest differences between women and men when it comes to like our attraction trigger. So it's interesting that she's saying that.
Why do some men believe in semen retention while other men feel like you gotta get the poison out?
I've never.
Does this have more to do with religion or science?
Science for sure. Yeah.
You know, the thing is like if you keep letting your stuff go out, you don't have as much testosterone and girls notice, you know.
So you believe in the whole no fap, the semen retention thing?
I mean, not like extreme, but like some guys they're just doing it like 3 times a day. So.
Well, the question I have about semen retention is that how would your body know the difference between whether you're ejaculating into or outside of a woman? I mean, what difference does it make? I mean, couldn't you say that if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't have sex because you need to keep the semen inside?
You should no. What you should do
Does it make a difference whether it's masturbation or actual sex? Is my question.
You should save it up when you're in a relationship with a woman. Like you should save it up for her, and then like only come with her. Not because it's you lose just as much. In fact.
Well, right, but I'm saying the argument behind semen retention is that you're more likely to like lose power and testosterone, and I'm saying how does your body know the difference?
It doesn't. I mean, you lose your testosterone.
So then, isn't it really just all about more of just bonding with your partner rather than losing your masculinity? I mean, that's the argument I hear, but behind the semen retention, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree.
It doesn't make sense.
There's a circular logic to it, and I agree with that. That's why I say, just don't overdo it.
What is the difference between ejaculation during sex versus masturbation?
I mean, a physical woman is causing you to ejaculate when you're with a woman versus your left or right hand.
Is semen retention just a cope for not getting laid?
Oh!
Probably.
Oh!
Probably. Yeah.
If women are the ones who determine that men should lead, wouldn't that mean that women are really the ones in charge?
Well, yeah, we're always in charge. We're women.
Nope.
Well, how can men lead if it's by women's terms?
Because they have to listen to what we say, but still lead.
No.
Like if things are going bad, somebody has to be level-headed. Somebody has to be able to lead us out of the trouble.
Wouldn't that make men more accountable?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's one thing I do pride myself on, is taking accountability for my own actions as a man. And then if you're going to be a leader, you got to be able to take accountability when things are going wrong and when things is going right.
If women are the ones who determine that men should lead, wouldn't that mean women are really the ones in charge?
Now that you put it that way,
Nope.
Yes.
Stop
How
the cap.
can men lead if it's by women's terms?
That is true.
Got
I
him.
don't know. That is
Got him.
I feel like women are mainly in charge because women are the ones that actually keep the relationship stable, keep the relationship actually with substance, and basically organized and controlled. And I feel like when a relationship is uncontrolled, that's due to the men.
If
Cut that
everyone
out, you
wants
little
men to
bastard.
lead, is it any wonder why most leadership positions are held by men?
Look, he got me stuck because like all his questions are like
it's checking me right now.
Yeah.
That's no surprise. I mean, for one, you can't have a woman leading because they're in an emotional state. They'll make emotional decisions. They will put their emotions first before logic. So that's the number one reason why women can't lead, and a man have to be in that position. Because me, myself, I can put my emotions to the side and still make the sound decision for us both. Whether I like it or not, or whether I feel the way or not, I'm still going to make the best decision for us. Logic.
So why do women complain about men being in charge when women wanted it that way?
I think some men just don't know how to lead. I think society has turned certain men to not even knowing how to take those proper steps of leading.
Exactly.
So it really comes from the man not having the knowledge to do so in today's society. Because if you look back then, it was more successful relationship and more successful men at the head of the household back then than it is now.
If men are obligated to protect women because they are physically stronger, why aren't women obligated to be sex slaves to men because they have more sex appeal?
I mean, not all women have sex appeal.
In a civilized society, why does being physically stronger justify laws being biased against men?
Because the same things that'll get you drafted, which is being fast, strong, big, and maybe this is the same things that'll get you killed and get you looked at as an aggressive person.
That's true.
Why are there legal restraints on men's physical power, but there's no legal restraints on women's sexual power?
Because I think like physical power is something that like I didn't even know there were actually laws against that. But like a woman's sexual power, it's not necessarily something that she can control. Sometimes like sexuality is just something that resonates from a person without them.
Okay. So if a woman's sexual power isn't something that she can control, then how is it that so many women can get away with finessing guys out of money, finessing guys out of time and attention and resources, and they know that the guys want to hook up with them? You know that, and they dangle it in front of them like this. If that wasn't true, if it was something that they couldn't control, then how are they able to monetize it on Instagram, social media, and OnlyFans? How are they able to monetize it then? If it didn't have power, and if they weren't aware of it and didn't have control of it, then how are they able to monetize it in this present day and age? Explain that.
Stop the cap.
Having any control over it. Rather, I guess, like strength. People have control over how strong they can be.
Don't women have control over what they wear?
I don't think sexuality even necessarily has to do with what they wear. Sometimes women can be fully clothed, no makeup, and they just have that appeal. It's like a energy.
What are your thoughts on the expression happy wife, happy life? Why not happy spouse, happy house? Isn't that more of an equal arrangement?
It is equal, but I think when the wife is happy, everything runs more smoothly because
Stop the cap.
When the wife is happy, it's just like a happier lifestyle.
No.
If I'm happy, we're all going to be happy because if I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to make it known that I'm in a bad mood and everybody is not going to have a good time. But if I'm good, then we're all going to be good and it's going to be great.
If your wife is happy, she's going to treat you like a king all the time because you treat her like a queen. She's going to do the same to you.
See, you know what's funny is when he's asking, does happy wife, happy life mean that it's going to be, a good, steady flowing relationship? These women are agreeing and saying, oh, yeah, if the woman's happy, everything's just going to flow smooth. Well, if that's the case, how come none of the women that agree with that have wedding rings on? So how would they be able to speak to that when they themselves are not wives that are happy in a steady flowing marriage?
Stop the cap.
Happy wife, happy life. That's a pretty traditional term. Honestly, our parents believe in it, but not so much these days.
Why not happy spouse, happy house? Isn't that more of an equal arrangement?
It is, but it depends. Like, are both putting in that same effort for both to be happy?
Why not happy spouse, happy house? Isn't that more of an equal arrangement?
I think that's just as true.
So why don't we have that expression?
I would say because men, what they do is more tangible. Men are protectors and providers. You can see that. It's more physical. What women do is more esoteric and spiritual and emotional and supportive.
We could do all that too.
So, you know, if you know a good woman, you know what a good woman can do for your life.